All right, everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive. Today we're going somewhere kind of unexpected. We're talking about finding wisdom, like actual wisdom in the middle of calamities.
Calamities, like disasters.
Exactly, yeah, like think natural disasters, personal setbacks, the tough stuff life throws our way.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
But where's the wisdom in that? Sounds kind of, I don't know, depressing.
right, that's what I thought too. But we've got these excerpts from a text exploring the Islamic view on why we face trials and hardships. And let me tell you, it offers some really interesting insights on dealing with difficulties.
The Islamic view. So, like, is this only relevant for Muslims?
That's the thing. Even if you're not, stick with us. This perspective has some surprisingly universal applications for how we handle the tough stuff, no matter what our background is.
Okay, I'm game. Spill the wisdom.
So the first thing that really stood out to me was that it goes beyond just submitting to a higher power. Like, it's not about blind obedience. It's about striving for something deeper.
Deeper, huh? Like what?
It's about a genuine connection to something bigger than ourselves, something that gives us meaning and purpose. Think of it like, I don't know, maybe that driving force within you.
Right, and the source specifically mentions Allah for that higher power, but I think you can interpret it in the way that resonates with you, whatever your beliefs are.
Exactly. It's about that personal connection. And get this, the Quran, the central text in Islam, talks about how those who waver during trials experience evident loss.
Evident loss. Wow, what does that even mean?
I know, right? Intense. Like they're missing out on a deeper level of understanding and growth that comes from those tough times. It makes you think.
It does. Makes you wonder about your own life. Like, where are we truly committed?
Yeah.
And where do we maybe, shy away when things get hard? What about you?
Honestly, yeah. Where's my evident loss happening? It's a really good question we should all be asking ourselves. And it leads us to the next big point, the path to prevailing.
Prevailing, like winning, succeeding.
More like reaching a place of true strength, resilience, that kind of success. And there's this awesome quote from Imam al-Shafi'i, he was a big scholar, who said, prevailing can only come after trials. Whoa. So it's not just about enduring hardship, it's about what we gain from it.
Yeah, and it's almost like a formula, right? You've got the trial, then you've got to have the patience to go through it, and then you reach that state of prevailing.
Oh, I see. Like a three-step process, trial, patience, prevailing.
Exactly. And think about it. Have you ever been through something really hard, and then looking back, you realize it forced you to grow?
Totally. It's like they say, smooth seas never made a skilled sailor. But here's where things get even more interesting. This perspective, it challenges the idea that calamities are just punishments.
Punishments? How so?
Like, we tend to think, oh, something bad happened, I must have done something wrong. But this view suggests that maybe difficulties are opportunities for something else.
Opportunities? For what?
For purification and growth. Seriously. The source even shares a hadith, which is a saying attributed to Prophet Muhammad that talks about how trials expiate sins. Wait, so going through tough times can actually, cleanse us.
It's like we're, I don't know, paying our dues, but in a way that helps us become better versions of ourselves.
Yeah.
It's like a cosmic reset button.
That's a really interesting way to think about it.
Right. It's a whole different perspective. But there's another hadith included in the source that says something kind of different. It says that Allah holds back punishment in this life for those he dislikes.
Oh, okay, now I'm confused. So is hardship a punishment or not?
Well, that's the beauty of exploring these ideas, isn't it? It forces us to grapple with these complicated questions.
Yeah, true. I like that. It makes you think. So to recap, we've got calamities pushing us towards something bigger than ourselves, helping us prevail, and maybe even purifying us. But wait, there's more, right?
Oh, absolutely. And this part's kind of exciting. The source goes on to say that calamities, they might actually have an upside.
An upside to hardship. Okay, I'm really curious now.
Yeah, so the idea is that calamities can actually elevate our spiritual status and bring greater rewards in the long run. There's this beautiful hadith about even just a thorn prick leading to a higher standing or having your sins forgiven.
So instead of asking, why me, we should be asking, what can I learn and how can this make me better?
Exactly. It's about looking for the opportunity within the obstacle. And honestly, this is a challenge for all of us. Can we really shift our perspective to see these difficult times as potential for something greater instead of just burdens? What do you think?
I think it's definitely a challenge, but one worth trying for sure. Another thing that really stuck with me is that calamities can act like a mirror.
A mirror.
Yeah, like forcing us to look inward and really examine, our choices, our actions, like what's going on inside.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's easy to get caught up in that whole why me thing, but this source is saying maybe we should be asking, what part did I play? Take some
Yeah.
responsibility.
So less blame, less feeling sorry for ourselves, and more, what can I learn from this? Pretty powerful, huh?
It is. And the source is really clear that it shouldn't be about judgment, like beating yourself up. It's about understanding, using those tough times to actually learn and grow.
I like that. Not judging, understanding. I'm really seeing how this perspective can be so helpful. It's not about denying the pain or the difficulty, but it's like you're finding meaning, a purpose within the hardship.
Right? Finding meaning. It's about using those hard times to become more aware of yourself and make, positive changes. Speaking of self-awareness, the source also talks about how calamities reveal people's true character, like who they really are.
Oh, that's so true. It's like when you're going through something really tough and you really see who your real friends are, the ones who stick by you no matter what. Have you ever experienced that?
Oh, definitely. It's like the tough times, they strip everything back. You see what's really there. And this applies to us, too, as individuals. The source quotes Al-Fudail ibn Iyad, an early Islamic scholar. And he said, a person's true nature is often hidden, like until calamity strikes. It's in those moments you really see what someone's made of.
Wow, it's like a test of character, for ourselves and for the people around us. Think about a time in your life when things were really hard. Did it change how you saw yourself or others? Did it strengthen your relationships or, did it maybe expose some cracks?
Those are good questions. And, the source actually says going through hardship, it's one of the best ways to develop true inner strength. Resilience.
Like building those muscles, right? It reminds me of all those stories about people who overcome incredible challenges. Like, didn't the Prophet Muhammad go through a lot of hardship early in his life?
Yeah, absolutely. The source uses the Prophet Muhammad's life as an example. It says, all the difficulties he faced, they prepared him for what he was meant to do. It was like those trials were shaping him, giving him the strength and resilience he needed for his mission.
It's amazing how much we can actually endure and how much stronger we can become when we're really pushed. What about you? What kind of hardships have shaped you into the person you are today?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
I think we all have those moments, those trials that tested us, but ultimately, made us stronger.
Yeah, it's like they forge us. And those times often reveal the incredible kindness and support that's out there. The source talks about how those tough times show you who your real friends are. The ones who are there unconditionally.
So true. It's like they filter out the less genuine connections. And it's not always just our close friends and family either. Sometimes the support comes from, unexpected places.
Yeah.
It reminds us that we're not alone.
Exactly. You realize you've got people. It makes you really appreciate those folks who show up when you really need them. But the source also brings up this interesting point about hardship being like a call to repentance. Like, take a look at yourself, your actions. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's a really important part of this whole perspective.
Yeah.
The source has several verses from the Quran, and they really stress the link between our actions and what happens to us. It's saying that sometimes, maybe the hardships we go through, they're a direct result of our own mistakes or, our bad habits.
So it's like a wake-up call. It's like, hey, what am I doing wrong? What needs to change? What do I need to own up to?
Right. It's about seeing those patterns, and making a conscious effort to do better. It's not about guilt or shame. It's about taking ownership, seeking forgiveness, and actually making positive changes.
I love that. It's so empowering. It's like you're saying, okay, I messed up, but I can learn and make things right. It's all about growth, isn't it?
It totally is.
Yeah.
And, this whole idea of taking responsibility and making changes, it connects to something else the source talks about. How calamities can help us shift our perspective, like see the bigger picture.
Oh, tell me more about that.
Well, the source says that hardship often shows us how temporary, all those worldly comforts really are. And it kind of redirects our attention to things that are more lasting, more meaningful. It contrasts like the struggles and the fleeting pleasures of this world with the life indeed of the hereafter, like encouraging us to detach from those things that, ultimately don't really matter.
Wow. That is deep. It's like those difficult times, they're putting things into perspective, reminding us that this too shall pass, and that there's something bigger, something more meaningful waiting beyond this life.
Right. It's about focusing on what truly matters, your values, your relationships, that connection to something greater than yourself. Those are the things that really sustain us, through it all.
That's a beautiful reminder. It's like we're reframing those tough times. Like, instead of seeing them as something terrible, we see them as opportunities to grow, to learn. But there's one more thing I want to touch on. This idea that hardship can make us appreciate the good times even more.
Oh, yeah. It's like that saying, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. The source uses the example of health. Like, we often take it for granted until we get sick, right?
Totally. And it's not just physical health, it's appreciating all the good, all those simple joys and blessings we might miss when things are easy.
Exactly. It's about, being grateful, being thankful for those moments of peace, connection, happiness, seeing how precious they really are.
I love this conversation. We're taking this whole idea of hardship and flipping it on its head, refining all these hidden lessons, opportunities. What an amazing shift in perspective.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful stuff, isn't it? It's like, wait, there's one more point I want to make sure we hit. The source mentions something about hardship making us yearn for paradise. Paradise. What's that all about? Right. This is where it gets really interesting, I think. It's saying that going through those tough times, the difficulties of this world, it can make us long for something better, like a state of peace, fulfillment that goes beyond, what we're experiencing right now.
So it's like those hard times, they make us want something more, right? Something that goes beyond all those present struggles. We get a taste of the opposite of paradise and crave the real deal.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be a literal paradise, It's more like a state of being, a way of life that aligns with like what you truly value, your deepest aspirations. What does that look like for you?
That's a really good question. I think for me, paradise is that feeling of, I don't know, deep inner peace, contentment, a sense of connection to something bigger, and like the freedom to chase my passions without fear holding me back. What about you? What does your paradise look like?
Ooh, that's tough. I think for me, paradise is all about, continuous learning, growth. Surrounded by people I love and, contributing something good to the world. A place where, like, kindness and compassion win. And where everyone can, I don't know, reach their full potential.
I love that. And the source seems to be suggesting that, like, by experiencing hardship here in this world, it actually makes us more aware of what we truly value, what we're aiming for. It's like it clarifies what paradise really means to us, making us want it even more.
Yeah. Like it refines our understanding of what really matters. Yeah. And it helps us prioritize, let go of things that aren't serving us. And then we can like focus on building that personal paradise, both within ourselves and in the world around us.
Wow, that's really beautiful. So even though those tough times are painful, challenging, they can actually push us to create something better, something more meaningful, fulfilling.
Exactly. It's a reminder that even in the midst of difficulty, there's always hope, always the possibility for growth and change.
I'm blown away by all this wisdom we've uncovered today. It's honestly changed how I think about hardship. Now, instead of fearing it, I see it as, I don't know, a chance to grow, transform, understand myself and the world better. What about you?
Totally agree. It's been an incredible journey exploring all these ideas. What started as a look into one perspective on hardship has opened up so much. And it's something everyone can benefit from, no matter who they are or what they believe. It shows, how important it is to look for wisdom in unexpected places and be open to new ways of thinking.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And to all our listeners out there, we hope this deep dive has given you some new things to think about as you navigate the ups and downs of life. Remember, even when things are tough, there's always something to learn, something to gain. Maybe those difficult times are actually guiding us towards our own personal paradise, helping us figure out what truly matters and create a life that's meaningful, full of purpose.
And don't forget, finding meaning in those hard times, it's a personal journey. What speaks to one person might not speak to another. The important thing is to be open, curious, and kind to ourselves as we, work through life's complexities.
So well said. Until next time, fellow deep divers, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into that vast ocean of knowledge out there.